If it smells like every single onion species is having a family reunion under your armpits even after a shower, it doesn't necessarily mean you're dirty. The bacteria on your skin just has a little bit too much freedom and we need to set some boundaries. Getting rid of armpit odor is as easy as ABC. Here's how you do it. This is Self-Care Made Simple, where I help you develop the self-care tools you weren't given in the past. ABC stands for address the buildup, balance the biome, and control the sweat. Let's start off by addressing the buildup. Buildup happens so fast under the arms. I mean, you have sweat, dead skin, oils, antiperspirant, deodorant, all mingling together under there. And if that's not fully removed, it makes it way harder for odor controlling products to actually work, and it makes it so much easier for bacteria to breed. If you're really struggling to get all of that buildup off, it doesn't mean you need to start scrubbing with the force of Thanos and damage your skin barrier in the process. You just need to be a little bit more methodical. Double cleansing helps out a lot. You can use either an oil cleanser followed by a water-based body wash or body soap, or you can do 2 cleanses using whatever body wash or body soap you normally use. The trick is, for that first cleanse, you want to really massage it into the skin using just your hands. You don't need to use a washcloth or anything yet. Just use your hands to massage the soap in for about 45 to 60 seconds. I think the massaging with your hands does a really good job at just pushing everything out of the skin. Once you rinse that off, you're going to go in with your second cleanse using your washcloth, your African net sponge, or whatever cleansing implement you normally use. Usually you can tell your underarms are clean whenever you feel the area and it doesn't have that waxy filming feeling left over. You can also use an exfoliating scrub maybe once a week or here or there just for some additional help with lifting that dead skin and debris. Next up, we need to balance the biome. Sweat itself is odorless, but the bacteria breaking down the sweat is what causes the odor. So if we want to control the odor, we need to balance the microbiome of our armpits. We're not trying to nuke every single trace of bacteria from our skin because our skin also has beneficial bacteria. We just want to prevent bacterial overgrowth and neutralize that odor-causing bacteria. We can do that in 2 ways. The first way is directly killing and suppressing the bacteria. We want to look for ingredients like glycolic acid, azelaic acid, mandelic acid, benzoyl peroxide, or sulfur because they are going to target the bacteria on the skin. A lot of the times you'll see these ingredients used in products for acne treatment. Well, not only is it going to kill the acne-causing bacteria, but it also works really well for neutralizing odor-causing bacteria. You can find these ingredients in the forms of body washes and soaps, leave-on treatments like serums, or quick cleansing products like wipes. Using a multi-step approach where you use a bacteria-inhibiting cleanser in the shower, coupled with leave-on treatments outside of the shower, will give you the best results. When you're using cleansers with any type of active ingredient, you want to make sure you're working it into the skin or letting it sit on the skin for at least 1 to 2 minutes so it has enough time to really get going and work. Usually I'll work it into my skin and then let it sit while I either brush my teeth or shampoo my hair, just so I'm not sitting there doing nothing. How often you use them is going to depend on the strength of what you're using as well as the tolerance of your skin. I would start off using it just a couple of times a week and then you can ramp up depending on whether or not your skin needs it and can handle it. I know antibacterial soap usage is very controversial, but there is definitely a lot of misinformation out there coming from both sides of the argument. Everybody doesn't need an antibacterial soap, but it can be really beneficial for people who are struggling with certain skin concerns or people who do have really persistent, pungent body odor. You're not going to cultivate the world's next world-ending superbug by using a gentle antibacterial soap a couple times a week. You're just not. Using a very gentle antibacterial soap that has a lot of moisturizing and barrier supporting ingredients with a very low percentage of whatever antibacterial agent is being used will be a lot more safe for your skin. I use a very gentle one in my routine throughout the week, and not only has it pretty much cleared up my hidradenitis suppurativa, but it's almost completely gotten rid of my body odor, even on its own. Like I said, it's not something you need to use every single day or use all over your body every single day, but it can come in handy for getting your skin back on track if nothing else is working for your body odor. Another great antibacterial agent is hypochlorous acid. Hypochlorous acid is one of the strongest disinfectants, like stronger than bleach strong, but it's so gentle that it can be used on your skin. Not only does it kill the bacteria, but it's also anti-inflammatory, soothing, and promotes wound healing in your skin. So a quick spray down or wipe down with some hypochlorous acid under your pits throughout the day if you're getting stinky or whenever you're not able to get to a shower right away can make a huge difference. The second way that we can balance our microbiome is by creating a hostile environment for the bacteria. Bacteria hates low pH environments, and our skin is already naturally acidic, but we're just going to reinforce that by safely lowering the pH just a little bit more. Some of the ingredients that we mentioned already, like glycolic acid, mandelic acid, azelaic acid, in addition to salicylic acid, citric acid, do a really good job at lowering the skin's pH. They also help with shedding dead skin and regulating oil production, which means that the bacteria has less food to feed on. Earlier, I mentioned using a multi-step approach where you use a bacteria-inhibiting cleanser in the shower coupled with leave-on treatments outside of the shower in order to get best results. But if you're going to be using an exfoliating cleanser in the shower, especially if it is stronger, I wouldn't recommend also using a strong exfoliating treatment in the same routine that day or night because you don't want to go overboard and irritate your skin. So you could use a more gentle leave-on treatment on your off days from your exfoliating cleanser, or you could pair something more gentle like hypochlorous acid as your leave-on treatment whenever you're also using your active exfoliating cleansers. And now for C, which is control the sweat. Part of making our pits inhospitable for bacteria is reducing the amount of sweat on the skin. We already know that bacteria loves to feed off of sweat, but it also likes moist, dark, damp environments. So whenever your pits are sweaty and wet, it's like an extended stay motel with free continental breakfast in the morning. We're shutting that down. The most effective tool for this is an aluminum-based antiperspirant. Aluminum salts are what plug the sweat glands to reduce the amount of sweat actually being produced. There is so much fear-mongering and misinformation about aluminum. People will say it's toxic, it stops your body from detoxing itself, it causes cancer, it causes Alzheimer's, yada yada yada. Every single one of those claims has been debunked over and over and over by actual reputable medical studies. Plus, the point of sweat is body temperature regulation, not detoxing. That is what your kidneys and liver are for. And even if sweat did detox the body, you're still producing sweat everywhere else on your body, not just your armpits. Like, you would be fine regardless. So unless you have an allergy to aluminum or you have bad reactions to it, there is nothing to be afraid of. If you have hidradenitis suppurativa or find yourself developing lumps or breakouts or boils under your arms when you use an aluminum-based antiperspirant, you might have a lot more success using gel or liquid antiperspirants. I know that has been very beneficial for me. There is also some really interesting upcoming research about gel antiperspirants resolving hidradenitis suppurativa, so I will attach more information for that in the caption in case you're interested in learning more. Natural deodorants or any antiperspirant alternatives don't have aluminum, so they don't have the ability to stop the sweat. They're mostly trying to mask the odor or neutralize it, but that's only going to go so far if you're struggling with really pungent body odor. If you sweat a normal or moderate amount, you might be fine just using a regular strength antiperspirant. But if you sweat heavily, like soak through your shirt sweat, or you're super stinky, you're probably going to have more success using a clinical strength antiperspirant. Formulas that dry down quickly are definitely ideal so you don't have any extra moisture lingering under your arms. You can also go in with a little fan or the blow dryer on the cool setting and just dry down your armpits so that way they're dry. The best time to apply your antiperspirant is at night, especially after a shower, so that way it gives it time to work overnight before you're active the next day. If you're a heavy sweater, you can use that stronger clinical strength antiperspirant at night, followed by something lighter like a regular strength antiperspirant or a dry spray during the daytime. If you're someone who can't use aluminum-based antiperspirants because of allergies or whatever the case may be, getting a moisture-wicking dry spray or body powder will really help, so you're at least absorbing some of that extra moisture. So anything that's going to have tapioca starch, rice starch, kaolin, arrowroot, or cornstarch will help with absorbing the moisture. There are also powders with antibacterial ingredients like miconazole nitrate or chloroxylenol that will also help with targeting the bacteria there too. Now that we've gone in depth with the ABC method, in the next video, we're going to discuss which products you can use for each step of this method. So if you're interested in the actual product recommendations, I would love for you to give me a follow so you can catch that video when it goes up. If you think this technique would be helpful for you or anyone else you know, make sure to save it and share it with them. And also check out the rest of my Self-Care Made Simple series.